I'm Thomas Shope, Jr. I go by TJ because that was one way I could differentiate myself from my dad, who's Tom. But I represent Legislative District 8, which is central and eastern Pinal County and southern Gila County. My mom was born in Mexico and lived in a lot of border towns. Her father worked for the government, so they lived in a lot of different border towns. Ended up in Coolidge in the 70s. And my dad's side of the family moved to Coolidge from Iowa in 1952, where they started a grocery store that actually went bankrupt after the first few years that they were here, and were able to get back on their feet because that's what people do in Arizona. We have been in our current facility since 1988, so I was 3 years old whenever that was built. We compete against two major retailers in a town of 12,000 people, so it's not overly easy, but we employ over 30 people, do great business, and are obviously the only locally owned option for folks, and I think that means a lot. That means that when people come in the door and they want that donation for Little League or youth football, they know that they're probably going to get it because that's a passion of ours, is taking care of the younger folks in our community and making sure that we invest in our community. For somebody like myself who was born and raised here in Arizona, who chose to, even when it was time to go to college, I could have gone anywhere across the country, and especially around the southwestern United States. I chose to stay in Arizona and continue to stay in Arizona, and after college bought my house back home in Coolidge because I think that this is a place where people can do anything that they want to accomplish. Melissa and I got married in 2020. It was in October, and I know that 2020 was unusual for a lot of folks. And for us, we had a wonderful highlight getting married in 2020. I enjoy spending time with her, obviously, and doing things in the district, but all over the state. We love to travel. Places like LD8 have a lot to offer, more state parks than any other legislative district. We are always out and about with, especially Callie, our wonderful pup, who we like to think of her either as a blonde fox or as a blonde coyote. We're not really sure, but nice bushy tail. And she's 27 pounds of wonderful. When I'm not at the Capitol, a lot of people always ask, what is it exactly that we do? Well, I work for National Bank of Arizona, and I do small business development. As far as running for legislature, it was a conversation with an aunt of mine who knew that I wanted to do something more, and she told me, you need to do what makes you happy, and you need to do what you feel you can give, where you can give the best effort that you possibly can. She passed away shortly thereafter, and that always kind of stuck with me. I decided to run very shortly after that, and it's always stuck out in my mind as something that was the nexus of deciding to go ahead and finally do that. Spending 4 years in leadership in the House was a career accomplishment. I think right when I was getting ready to move out of my office, I asked Mr. Drake, our clerk at the House, if I could have my little thing that said Speaker Pro Tempore Shope on it so I could take with me just for posterity's sake, to sitting on a panel with the President of the United States. I mean, if you'd asked somebody like my mom, whose family was not of here, and my dad, whose family came from humble beginnings, that their son would be sitting with the President of the United States on a panel, they would never have believed it.
Thank you. Members, you've heard the motion. Is there any further discussion?
One thing I've learned being a third-generation elected official is that nobody remembers who you are after you're gone. So if that's what you think your claim to fame is going to be, is being, hey, look at me, people aren't going to remember you anyway. They're going to remember the folks who did the job and got the work done.